Hi, this is Charles Kelly. Hope you're having a good day. Today, we learn there's some funny things going on out there in the market. House prices have gone up in August by the fastest rate for 15, 16 years, and some people are saying that they're at the all-time high. Well, I don't quite believe that, but they've certainly gone up at a faster rate than many years. But I think they're still down on some of the peak prices of a couple of years ago. But definitely transactions are going through, and people are buying to take advantage of the stamp duty holiday and that sort of thing. And it's certainly rebounded according to the surveys by the Nationwide and the Halifax. However, number of mortgage deals are way down. Some people have said that of certain types of deals, back in March you had 700 deals available, which have now gone down to 60 deals, one broker was saying. And this is lenders able to offer a 90% mortgage. There were 779 deals in March, there's only now 60. And I've certainly seen the number of good fixed rates go down, and reasonable rate deals. In fact, fixed rates went up when the Chancellor reduced interest rates further. So lenders are charging more, lending less, and being more cautious. And yet, more people are buying houses and moving and getting and going through. So money must be coming from somewhere. Don't forget, a lot of people have got money in this country. A lot of people have got savings. They've got equity in their homes. There's a lot of money floating about. So I would imagine maybe a lot of young people might be buying properties with parental help, grandparents' help. I really don't know. We'll have to see how these figures pan out further down the line. And yet, unemployment's going up. People at Heathrow Airport have been told they might have to take a massive 20% pay cut. Jobs are going left, right, and centre. The only company that seems to be recruiting is Amazon, and they're not going to be the high-paid jobs that we necessarily want, but they're jobs. Jobs are still jobs. But you've got house prices going up, mortgage deals going down, unemployment going up, and where does that lead you? And then a little bit of an ominous sign today. The stock markets have been going up for several months now, and they've certainly reached a bit of an all-time high in America at least. But today, the Nasdaq dropped by 5% in America. Nasdaqs are the stocks that are for the high-tech companies, the Googles, Facebooks, and this sort of thing. And they've been really bucking the market trends and going up like crazy for the past few months. And yet it did drop this morning. So is that a sign that this tremendous bull run we've had is over? In fact, it's down at the moment by 4.69%, which doesn't sound a lot. What's 4% between friends? But it represents billions on the market valuations of those companies. So that I do wonder. Like Dow Jones down 2.5%, S&P 500 down 3%. So the American markets are down, and the markets here would have closed by now, but they didn't seem to be that affected. But could we see a drop tomorrow? These things always happen on a Friday, the Black Friday and that sort of thing. It seems that on a Friday things can go wrong when people are selling off shares before they go for the weekend or whatever. I don't know. But I know a lot of people were predicting maybe by the autumn there could be a stock market fall. So, who knows what's going to happen. The only thing that seems to be bucking the trend at the moment are just house prices. Why people are suddenly buying houses, I really don't know, because a lot of people are in jobs which are not really safe. The furlough scheme's about to come to an end next month. That's going to put more people out of work. So to me, why would you buy property at the moment? And most experts are saying that property prices are going to drop this year, if not next year, when all these schemes come to an end. So we'll have to see. I suppose if you're buying a house to live in, then it's not so much an investment. It's more you need somewhere to live. It's still usually cheaper than renting. Usually, definitely is cheaper with low interest rates than renting. So I suppose if you're buying a house and you're going to be there for the next 5 or 10 years, does it really matter if it goes up by 5% here or there? Not really. My first property I bought, it'd gone down by 5% by the time I completed, because the interest rates had gone up. There was a big recession on. The lender didn't even tell me that the place had been down valued. They charged me a higher rate, And years later, I found out, because they never used to give you a copy of the survey in those days, But after 2 or 3 years, I think I got back. The place had gone up by 40%, roughly, and actually more than 40%. It gone up. I think I got 50% more back when I sold it than what I paid for it. So, you know, even though it dropped initially, by the time I sold it, it'd gone up again, and I was then able to buy a bigger property with the money that I'd made on that. You don't see the money; it just goes into the next property. So does it really matter if you're buying a house to live in and it goes down in value? Not really. Even if you get into negative equity, then it's only negative equity if you sell the property. It's not negative equity if you're sitting there. It just means that you've got this feeling that you've paid for something and it's worth less than you paid for it. But if you're living in there, it doesn't really matter, because in years to come it will go up again. So there's no need to panic and run in and hand the keys back in. The only slight downside on negative equity is that on people with portfolios of properties, that the lenders can call the loans in if they feel their security is at risk, and they did this after the financial crisis in 2008. So that's a possibility. But for most people, the place has gone down in value. So what? You carry on living there, you carry on paying your loan, and eventually it will outperform. It will perform well again in the future. And it's a bit similar thing with shares, really. If you're holding some shares that have gone down in value, you only really lose when you cash in your chips and you're out of the game. So there you go. So that's a bit of a view on the market today. A little bit strange, where some think going up, some are going down, but what can you say? That is the market. Sometimes the markets don't act logically. They're usually right in the long run. You can't really buck the market, but sometimes you think, why are these shares going up in value? Why are Tesla shares going up? Why are they worth more than Toyota when they're just a company that make a few thousand electric cars? It doesn't make sense, but maybe the market knows something that we don't. I was in town yesterday, and there seems to be a few more people coming back to work. Some people say it will really recover next week when, because this week you had the bank holiday, so some people have taken a week off with the bank holiday Monday, and taken 4 days holiday, and then it gives them a week's break just for 4 days holiday, and maybe next week things will start to move again. There were a few more people around, and a taxi driver told me it's a little bit more busy, but not that much more busy. We're still seeing some signs that Costa Coffee are going to close down branches, Pret a Manger are going to close down branches. But these companies have expanded so quickly. Costa Coffee have opened up everywhere. They're in garages, they're inside department stores. Everywhere you look, there's a Costa Coffee on a station, and that's maybe they've expanded too fast. That they've just overexpanded. Pret a Manger, they said in Borough High Street they've got more Pret a Mangers than in the whole of Wales. I mean, I know in Marylebone High Street, which it's a busy road, but it's not like Oxford Street. There's a Pret a Manger in one corner, and 100 yards up the road, there's another one. I think, what's that all about? Okay, they might still be busy, but it doesn't make sense to open one within 100 yards of each other on a shopping street that's not that busy. It's not like a big office world place. It's a nice little Marylebone High Street. If you go there, it's a lovely part. It's about half a mile from Oxford Street, but those sort of things don't make sense. And some of the stores have been guilty about this as well. They've opened up branches everywhere. In every shopping mall that comes up, you've got another branch there of John Lewis, another Debenhams, and maybe they've expanded too fast and used too much debt to expand, and that always comes to an end at some stage. Some of these things that were happening in the market were already happening before the coronavirus, and as one person said, the coronavirus is the pin that burst that bubble. It's the little prick of that pin that and the bubbles burst, and that's why we're seeing this recession that was already coming, because retail was already suffering from online buying. More and more people, technology was taking over. Technology was going to come at some stage in the future. It's come much faster now because of the virus, and more people will be working from home than ever. We know that, but I think a few more people will drift into the cities, but not like they were. And don't forget, it's not just the Pret a Mangers that will suffer. The UK has invested a tremendous amount of money in public transport. You might not think it, because the papers say, public transport is no good, but it's not. I mean, on where I am, the lines have been all been upgraded. The trains are all new. Multi-million pounds worth of investment into new trains. So you've got nice new trains, new lines going right through London. And then, of course, you've got this multi-billion pound Elizabeth line, or this line that's going right across London. So if you look at a map of London, you think of a map of London, it's going right through it from Essex to Berkshire in Reading, out as far as Reading, and it's like a line over other lines. There's massive tunnels going under Oxford Street, and this line is the biggest rail project in the whole of Europe. It's cost multi-billions. It's late at the moment. It's running a year or so late, and it's been held up again. And this is a massive investment in transport. And don't forget, this is covering lines that were already covered by other lines, like this HS2 that is going up to Birmingham. There's already a train goes to Birmingham, but they said, oh, no, the capacity's not there. And that's what they said about these lines in London, that they need more capacity. So what now? After these multi-billion pound spend, who's going to be using those lines? Are they needed? Well, you can't back down now. I mean, this is going to be there for the next 100 years. But, it's, as I said, it's not just about Pret-a-Manger's suffering. People have invested, companies have invested, a lot of money in new offices. There's still offices being built in the city, massive developments. And what's going to happen to those? It's going to be a tough couple of years. So just watch this space, and I will keep you informed whenever I hear some news. So thanks very much for listening. This is Charles Kelly bringing you money tips to help you save, earn, invest, accumulate, and enjoy more money. Thanks a lot for listening. And thank you also for everyone who joins in with me on Facebook Live. It's really great to see you. I always appreciate your company and your comments, and do keep them coming in. I do try and give you good information. I'm not particularly selling anything, although if you do want to buy my book, that is always welcome. But you know what I mean. I'm not here saying this is a webinar, so at the end of this webinar, I'm going to sell you this course. I'm giving you good information here, and to pass on and build the Money Tips brand, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to impart my 25 years of experience in financial services and pass on good information. In the short future, I will be taking on a limited number of clients for mentoring and coaching, but that's something I'll come to in the future. I'll be talking about that later on. But other than that, I'm not selling a course. Sometimes I recommend courses that have been run by friends of mine, but I'm not here, with the big promotion thing. So thanks for listening, and have a great evening. Bye for now.